If you've never seen me before, you are seeing a first for the channel, and I'm about to show it to you. Here it is. What am I reviewing for you today, guys? This is a ladies' watch.
I'm a lady and my name is Emily Howard.
But you know what's clever about this, being as 99% of my channel viewers are actually men, is this is actually, in my opinion, mildly unisex. This colourway may be slightly feminine, and there are definitely some feminine colours. There's pink and a pearly white. But you get this in black pearl, which just makes me think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
My ship makes me captain.
What's cool about this watch is it's 38mm dive watch, and some of you may be interested in getting a slightly smaller dive watch. Will it work on a man's wrist? I have a man's wrist, obviously. It's a 7-incher, which is average apparently. No, 7 1/4. I've got to give myself the extra 1/4 inch where I can. Now, can a man pull off a lady's wrist? Can a man pull off a lady's watch? Oh my God, this sounds so wrong. Can a man wear a lady's watch? Definitely. Or can he? This video will show you all that, so the next bit is the stats and specs. Let's check it out. So let's get a couple of things out of the way as well first. I missed out on the stats and specs. One for good reason, on purpose, because on the Phoibos website, they state this at being like 12mm thick, which is wrong. I'll show you why. So I've got my infamous Minch 14. And then if you don't include the crystal, it's still 13. So I don't know where they're getting 12 from. And now we've used Mr. Minch. We're going to move on to his more famous brother in the kit, Mr. Gipas. Yes, I do name my equipment. If you've never seen me before, I apologise for my eccentricity, but no, I don't really, because it's fun to be weird. This weighed 132 grams, and that's sized up to me. What does that mean? What's the relevance of 132 grams? Well, a nice ballpark, I would say, for around 40mm dive watch with a steel bracelet like this, sized up for an average man, which is me. Not average in every single way, of course. We're no such thing as average. What does 130 mean? Well, it's going to be comfortable to wear all day long. And that's good. So now we've got those two items out the way. I'm going to move on to what do I like and what do I dislike about this watch, really? Well, I mean, that's what a review is, isn't it? Let's get the thing out the way about this being a ladies' watch. How can I basically confirm it's a ladies' watch? Well, first of all, it's got what I would say a feminine looking scuba diver with quite a nice butt, I would say. Yes, I am perverted. And then I would say the other thing that really gives it away is the fact it says there, lady divers. So I don't know if that's actually grammatically very good, but it's a lady divers. I don't think they should put that on there, and I think maybe they should have a man and a woman gracefully swimming happily under the sea together on the back. To signify this could be a unisex watch. And why do I keep saying unisex? Well, because I think it's common in many markets for them to say anything less than a 48,000mm watch is deemed a tiny girly little watch. I don't think there's anything wrong with a 38mm dive watch for a grown man, and especially an average man, or a European man, or any man for that case. As you've got a massive, monstrous gorilla wrist, this would look like a little button on your wrist and look rather silly. But I have a normal wrist, and I'm totally happy with the 38mm watch. I don't think it looks too small at all. It's literally in the sweet spot, I would say. Maybe a 40 would be even more ideal. I know Phoibos generally do. Ladies' watches are like 38, and then it jumps up to 42 on average for a lot of their watches for men. So why not have a happy medium and go for a 40? But 38 I still think is in that sweet spot for many people, ladies and men. What is a little bit effeminate is this pearly blue colour, but I think out of all the range they currently offer, the black pearl one is probably the one you could get away with being a bit more masculine. I don't think the baby pink sort of colour and the sort of pearly white, you could pull it off quite so much if you want to go full unisex. But you know what? I think this works because it's borderline Tiffany, if you will, or coral blue. And I wore this at work around lots of burly men because I'm a carpenter and there's lots of toxic masculinity, and not one person said, why are you wearing a girl's watch? And they'll be the first people to spot it. They will spot the smallest thing in any changes in your appearance, yet no one said, oi, why are you wearing a girl's watch? Something I'm not happy with is the fact, like I showed you at the beginning with my dear friend Gipas and Mr. Mint showing you. The first thing I noticed was the fact that the height in relation to the length of the watch, the lug to lug is nice and compact in relation to its case width of 38. Really nicely proportioned, but the thing that knocks it out, if you've not seen any reviews of this watch before, is that I'm sure everyone's going to say the same thing, and that is it's a girthy beast. And that is just knocking it off. I think maybe they're following the whole, well, manly men like to have a big, thick, girthy dive watch, and ladies like a lot of girth too, maybe. I don't know, and maybe it's being represented in a timepiece. I know I'm being rude, but you know what? That's sorry. I think, regardless of the fact it's a dive watch, and chunkiness sort of can sometimes represent depth capabilities, that's not always the case. You can get 1,000-metre dive watches slimmer than this, with automatic movements. Nevada Grenchen, for example. Then you've got the fact it's got an NH35. You can get slimmer watches with NH35s. I still don't think that's a good enough excuse. The reason why this little dinky 38mm watch is nigh on 14mm thick. I think, my opinion, call me wrong, do this as a quartz and offer it at 10mm thick. Why not? Just pretty much take all that girth and thickness down the bottom away. This would wear even more elegantly and slimly and be unbelievably comfortable, because you'll have it as 200 metres, very comfortable wear. I just think if you're going to go mechanical, you don't need to make it blooming chunky. But that's just me. I think Phoibos, this is their design ethos. They like to have that kind of wrist statement, if you will. Another thing which I think you would need to be a lady to operate on this watch is to have very elegant, dainty little dexterous fingers to operate and undo those spring bars. 18mm lug width, so it's nice and proportional to this case size, I think, and you can put some rubber straps on it. I sell those, by the way. Come and check my store out. Get the plug in there early. But to undo those is very tricky. Look at the angle in which you would have to get your fingers in to undo them. I really struggled, and I would say, you've watched any of my mod videos, you know I've got fairly good hand-eye coordination, finger dexterity for doing fiddly things. Yeah, this was very fiddly. I'm struggling after that to find any major issues. Tactile things, I like to just run through those with you. I mean, the bezel feel is very nice. Light, no sort of wobble or play in it anywhere. So it's, again, helping make this feel like an expensive watch. The quality of this aspect is the first thing you can go to tell if a watch generally is going to feel quite like a well-made piece. The alignment is perfect. I like the steel bezel. It helps sort of soften the look of the watch. There's not too many heavy contrasts anywhere. It makes it look very soft on the eye, gentle. The crown is really easy to undo. Lovely pop when you undo it. You can actually hear the pop once you've unscrewed it. And really smooth hand winding, as you'd expect with the NH35, running nicely in this watch. And it's the usual affair what you get with an NH35. Rugged, reliable, and gives good time. Not going to worry about it really. And one thing of note, I'm struggling to get this to wind in actually at the moment. That's because I'm being special. I'm trying to talk and do two things at the same time. But unlike women who are experts at doing that. I like the fact it's got the date of the 6. It keeps the symmetry of the watch looking a lot better. Can be knocked off sometimes at the 3. I'm getting a bit put off by things at the 3 sometimes. But the fit and finish, and Phoibos' brushing, I don't know who is getting paid by Phoibos to do the brushing, but they need a pay rise if they're not being paid enough, because they really are good. The brushing on these watches have always been incredible. And how do you know it's good? It's all down to the smoothness, uniformity, the straightness, the sort of the refined elements. There's no rough edges, very straight brushing. Same on this milled clasp. It is milled, by the way. I doubt that is stamped by looking at it. And it's just so well machined. I mean, they really know how to machine their watches. And the sizing of this bracelet was gloriously simple with those screw pins. They went in and out very easily. And it was a breeze to size. The loom on this BGW9 is what you'd expect. 15 layers. It's going to last really well. And it's got a gorgeous colour, which really complements the blue dial especially. I'll go back to the bezel. This awesome like razor blade look is actually, even though it's not got any actual grippy bits. Just the nature of its design enables it to be really easy to grip. You're just going to get a good purchase on it. And the 120 click feel is very nice. It's not the best in the world, but it's actually still very pleasant. Love these lady links. I call them that because often we call them female end links, but as we're going for lady diver's watch, let's change it up a bit. Really nice fitting. And I think it's just going to help, again, wear for smaller wrists because you get that immediate conformity, which is what you want. But a negative, if this is a whole dive watch and they're really going to town on that with the good loom, the lovely bezel and the thickness and all that stuff, they don't put diver's extensions in. It's not a dive watch without a diver's extension, because if you're going to go scuba diving on holiday and you put a wetsuit on, this will not fit over your wetsuit. This dial is fascinating. I do love a pearl dial, and the fact it's got a swirly whirly engraved etched finish to it as well really adds some more character, adds to sort of a turbine look. You've got the one direction of this almost little shark fins going all the way around here. It's like a geometric swirl in the middle, and that just, again, it draws you in. It's fascinating. It's like looking at the ocean on the gorgeous Caribbean seas when it's this colour. That's what it makes me think of. So I think it's a beautiful summer fun watch for guys and girls, really is. So Phoibos, I think you are onto a winner here, but there are definitely a few little issues which I've discussed, but I just think it's so exciting to have a ladies' watch which could actually work for men. And I just think there is a bit of a growth market in that, and I think there is definitely a growth market in that. Look, they've just released a unisex Tissot, haven't they? The Sea Star. That's about £330 with a quartz movement, mind, but 36 mils, quite small. Now I've seen this as a 38, I'm thinking, cool, 36 Tissot. I was thinking about getting one of those, maybe. Don't limit the size of a watch, i.e. 38 mil, and say it's a ladies' watch. I know in some markets that would be deemed the case because men would never drop below a certain size of anything. But you know what? In Europe, I think a 38 mil dive watch, very much harking to those days of the Seiko SKX 013, I think it is. The 38 mil size dive watch that they did, and that was very popular for smaller wristed gentlemen, or people that just like smaller watches, and ladies, of course. That's where I think this comes in. So maybe bring this out with some more masculine colours. Don't call it a ladies diver, and just say call it the lady boy. I don't know. So yes, the new Phoibos Lady Boy. It's a fantastic part of the range, and is for ladies and boys. And I just think it's something I would wear. Oh, I'm coming across terribly. But I put this watch on my wife and she really liked it. The only thing that put her off was how girthy it is. And that's the first time I've heard that statement, and hopefully that is the last. So in summary, thank you again so much, Phoibos, for sending this watch to me. I think it's really pretty, and it's a very nice way to finish this video by using the word pretty.